Yeah, hi Sec 4 students. This is additional practice Sec 4 lesson 20. Now question 1, factorize completely part A, 20p power 4r minus 5rs squared. Okay, so how do we factorize this? Now first thing is to look for your common factors. So what's our common factors? If I look at the number, 20 and 5, my common factor will be 5. And then if I look at the letters, okay, there's no P on both. There's only P on the first term. So P can't be a common factor, but you have R on both sides. Okay, so my common factor will be 5R. I factorize this out first. I get 5R, and then you put in your brackets the leftover. So 4P power 4 minus S squared. Then you observe this 4P power 4 minus S squared. See whether you can factorize these further. Okay, so 4P power 4 minus S squared, it looks like your two squared terms. Correct? Remember your A squared minus your B squared? You have two squared terms. So if I have A squared minus B squared, if I factorize these, I get A plus B, A minus B. Okay, so same for this. If you have 4P power 4 minus your S squared, okay, if I want to factorize this, okay, 4P power 4 is as good. Okay, maybe I put this in brackets first. This is your 2P squared power 2 minus your S squared, which means that your A over here will be 2P power 2. Your B will be your S. Okay, so if I were to factorize this, I get my 2P squared minus S and 2P squared plus S. Okay, so yeah, if I show the next steps, so you see over here that your 4P power 4, you try to change this in terms of your squared terms. I get 2P squared to the power of 2 minus S squared. So your A is your 2P squared, your B is your S. That's how I get my answer. 5R times 2P squared plus S, and then 2P squared minus S. Okay? Now for part B, factorize completely your 6UW plus 7V squared minus 2UV minus 21VW. Okay, so over here, they shifted the 2UV to the first side. To the first side of this equation. So they put 6UW minus 2UV together, and then minus 21VW plus 7V squared together. Okay, so if I want to factorize the first two terms, I look for a common factor again. You have 2 and U. So I take out 2U from here. I'm left with 3W for my first term, and then I'm left with minus V for my second term. Okay, so for my right-hand side, you have minus 21V W plus 7V squared. Okay, so what I did was I take out my minus 7 because 7 is a common factor. And then I put V over here because I have V on both of these terms. So I take out minus 7V. You're left with 3W for the first term. And then I put minus V. Why is this minus V? Because I took out negative 7V. So you must make sure when you multiply this back, you get your positive 7V squared. Okay, so you realize that there's a common factor over here. You have 3W minus V for both of these two terms. So you can put your 2U minus V minus 7V together. Okay, so my answer is 3W minus V, 2U minus 7V. Now, this is one way. Now, what if I choose not to shift over this term to this side? What if I choose to not, if I want to just work out I want to put my 6UW and my 21VW together. Is it possible? Yes, can. Okay, so there's also an alternative method. I can put 6UW minus 21VW together, and then plus my 7V squared minus 2UV. Also possible. Okay, so for the first two terms, I can take out 3W. You're left with 2U minus 7V. Now for the next term, if I choose to take out my v, okay, so because v is a common factor, I'm left with 7v minus 2u. Okay, but you see over here, your bracket, your terms inside your bracket, they are different. This is 2u minus 7v. This is 7v minus 2u. Okay, so what do? I must change this 7v minus 2u. You want to make this to become your 2u minus 7v. So this can only happen if you put your negative sign in front. Okay, so negative sign in front, minus 7v plus your 2u. Okay, and you get your negative 2u minus 7v. So if I change this, I must remember to put my negative sign for in front of my v. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this down. Minus v, and then you become 2u minus 7v. Okay, then you can put your two terms together. So 3w minus v, 2u minus 7v. So you also get the same answer. Okay? Now question 2. Express 2 over 3x minus 2 minus 3x over 9x squared minus 3x minus 2 as a single fraction in its simplest form. Okay, so you're given this expression. Now what you can do first is you focus on the denominator of the second term. You know that you can actually factorize this further. Okay, so you can do your cross factorization method, or you can use a square method. You get 3x minus 2 and 3x plus 1. Then you see there's a common factor over here, your 3x minus 2. Okay, so you will try to change this to make it the same denominator as the first one. So you must multiply this by 3x plus 1. Okay, so when you change this and you multiply this numerator by 3x plus 1, you will get the same. You can combine them into the same denominator, into a single fraction. So 2 times your 3x plus 1 minus your 3x over your 3x minus 2, 3x plus 1. And then you can simplify your numerator. Okay, so I'm going to multiply in 2 by 3x. I get 6x. 2 times your 1, get your plus 2, minus 3x over your 3x minus 2, 3x plus 1. And then you can simplify your numerator. So 6x minus 3x, you get your 3x plus 2 over 3x minus 2, 3x plus 1. So you cannot simplify these any further. That's the answer in the simplest form. Okay? Now, question 3. It is given that t plus p over 4 equals to q over 5. Now, express t in terms of p and q. Okay, so when they ask you to express your t in terms of p and q, means that you have to put t as the subject of the equation. Okay, so what do I do over here first? You see, these are two fractions. You have to cross multiply them together. So we'll take my 5 times t plus p, cross multiply, equals to 4 times q. And then you have to expand this out. Okay, so I get 5t plus 5p equals to 4q. So now you will shift over your 5p to the right-hand side because you want to make your t as a subject. When you say t is the subject, means that your left-hand side must only have your t. It should not have any other variables. Okay, so shift this 5p to the right-hand side. I get 5t equals to 4q minus 5p. And then you can finally find your t by dividing the right-hand side by 5. Okay, so that's the answer for question 3. Now, question 4. Write down the following numbers in ascending order. So ascending order means from smallest to biggest, from small to big. Okay, so you have these numbers. They all look very similar, but we are gonna break these down. So the first is 0.65. This is very clear. Now, 66% is as good as your 0.66. So you can key in this in your calculator. You put 66 over 100. And you get your answer 0.66. Okay. The third one, 11 over 17. Again, you key in this in your calculator. you get 0.64706. So this is in 5SF. Okay. And then the next is 0.6 with a dot at the top. So we call this your recurring. Okay, means it will go on and on. And finally, 0.6666. It stops at the fourth 6. So how are we going to arrange this? Now, the obvious one, the 0.64706 must be the smallest. Correct, followed by 0.65. And then you have 0.66, recurring 6, and the one with the fourth 6. So of course, the 66 must be the smallest of these three. So remember to put the 66%, the original value given, followed by the 0.6666, the one with the 4 of the digit 6, and finally the recurring one, 0.6. Okay, with the dot at the top. Now, question 5. There were 4 more boys than girls in a class. Each student brought an umbrella to school. However, only half of the boys and 2/3 of the girls took their umbrellas home. If 23 umbrellas were taken home, how many students were there in the class? Okay, so this looks like a simultaneous type of equation, simultaneous equation question. So how do you find out the number of students? Okay, you will try to make use of your algebra, your variables. Okay, so we'll let X be the number of boys and Y be the number of girls. So the first equation you can record down is based on the first sentence. There were 4 more boys than girls in the class. So I know that my X equals to 4 plus Y. And then my second one, if half of the boys means that half of X, or X over 2, plus 2/3 of Y, or 2Y over 3, equals to 23. Okay, so I'm actually counting the number of umbrellas for my second equation. Now, once we jot down these 2 equations, I look at the second equation. What do I multiply by 6? I'm trying to get rid of the fraction. I don't want denominators. Okay, so I'm trying to make it into one single equation without any fractions. So when you times this by 6, I get 3x. And then you times this by 6, you get your 4y equals to your 138. Okay, so I will just show you how to get from here to here. So if you have x over 2, if you multiply this by 6, okay, you can divide both of these by 2. So 6 divided by 2, you're left with 3. That's how I get my 3x. Same for my 2y over 3, you times by 6. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. I get my 4y. So that's how I get my 3x plus 4y equals to 138. Okay, now I'm using substitution method over here. Of course, there's a few ways to solve this. You can also use the elimination. Okay, so substituting my first equation into my third equation. So I get 3 times my 4 plus y plus my 4y equals to 138. Open your brackets up. I get 12 plus 3y plus 4y equals to 138. And then I will simplify this. Okay, I get 12 plus 7y equals to 138. And my 7y will be 138 minus 12, which gives me 126. Okay, once you get the value for 7y, solve for your y first. So 126 divided by 7 gives me 18. And then if I sub my y equals to 18 into equation 1, so you can use either equation. You can also use the second and the third one. But of course, we use the simplest. So the simplest equation is the first one. So if I sub y equals to 18, my x will be 22. Okay, so how do you find the total students in the class? Take your x plus your y, boys plus the girls. So 18 plus 22, you get your answer, 40 students in the class. Okay? Now, question 6. In the diagram, ABCD is a rectangle in which AB is equals to 2x cm. Okay, AD is 3x plus 6 cm. Given that EC is twice BE. Okay, given EC is twice off. So I think they need to start the word off over here. twice of BE, and F is the midpoint of CD. So F is the midpoint, which means that my FD and my FC is the same. Okay, so part A, express the area of my triangle ECF in terms of X. Okay, so express the area of your triangle ECF in terms of X. So ECF is this triangle. How do you find the area of this triangle? Okay, you must make use of your half times your base times height. So you need to find your EC in terms of X, and you need to find your FC in terms of X. Okay, so for FC or CF, it's easy, right? Since I know that my AB is, so it should be 2x. Okay, so 2x over 2. I'll get x for my CF. Okay, so CF is XCM. And then my EC, right, is 2 of my BE. Okay, because EC is twice of BE, which means that BE will be EC over 2. Okay, actually, for me, I can just straight away find 2/3 of 3x plus 6. But over here, they do this solution. So EC over 2 plus EC is 3x plus 6. So 3EC. So they change this, they times by 2. Because this is 1.5 EC. Correct? 1/2 EC. So they times by 2. Same for the right hand side. I multiply this by 2. Okay, I get 3EC equals to 6x plus 12. So EC will be 2x plus 4. Okay. The shorter method is because I know that this BE is 1 unit. This is 2 units, right? Which means that my EC is 2/3 of my AD. So I can also find 2 over 3 times my 3x plus 6. Then I get my answer 2x plus 4. I think this is faster. Okay, so once I have my EC and my CF, I can find the area of my triangle. So half times 2x plus 4 times x. I get x squared plus 2xcm squared. Okay, so that's the answer for 6A. Now 6B, if the area of the region ABEFD, so ABEFD is this one, 110 cm squared, form an equation in X, ensure that it reduces to x squared plus 2x minus 22 equals to 0. Okay, so now I know my area of my CEF. This is given as x squared plus 2x. Okay, so what you can do is you take your area to find the area of ABEFD. I will take my rectangle ABCD, the big rectangle, minus of my ECF. Okay, you can find your ABCD in terms of x by taking the length times breadth. So 2x times my 3x plus 6 minus my x squared plus 2x. So this minus this will give you your 110. Okay, so we have to simplify this equation. Open up your brackets. 2x times your 3x, I get 6x squared plus 12x minus x squared minus 2x and then minus my 110 equals to 0. So I'm shifting all my terms to my left hand side. Simplify this. So 6x squared minus your x squared, I get 5x squared. 12x minus 2x give me 10x and then minus 110. Then you can simplify this further. X squared plus 2x minus 22. So dividing all these by 5. Okay? And then you put shown in brackets. Now part C, hence solve the equation. X squared plus 2x minus 22 equals to 0. And find the area of a triangle ECF. Okay, so how do you solve this equation? Over here, I'm using my quadratic formula. Okay, so quadratic formula is your x equals to minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac, okay, over 2a. The formula for your quadratic formula. So it's actually quite simple once you know the formula. Just sub in the respective terms, and you get your answer for x. Okay, so x equals to -2 plus minus square root 92 over 2. And I get two values of x, either 3.7958 or -5.7958. So you will reject the second one because the negative number. Okay, your measurements cannot be negative. Once I know the correct x to use, I will find my area of my triangle ECF. Okay, so x squared plus 2x. Sub in your value of x. 3.7958 squared plus 2 times 3.7958. And then you get your answer, 22.0 cm squared and 3 SF. Okay. Question 7. The figure shown consists of a regular hexagon. So this is a hexagon. Hexagon has 6 sides and 6 identical right-angled triangles. Okay, so calculate the value of x. Okay, how do you find this x? Now, since this shape is a hexagon, means that it has 6 sides. Okay, so if you recall back the formula to find the sum of your interior angles, on interior angles for n-sided polygon. Okay, n-sided means that the polygon has n sides. So what's the formula for this? N minus 2 times 180 degrees. Okay, so because hexagon has 6 sides, I take 6 minus 2 times 180 to find the sum, and then I divide by 6. Because I'm trying to find one side or one angle of my hexagon. Okay, what interior angle? So I get 120 degrees. Now part B, find the value of y. So since all my hexagons are regular, all of these 120 degrees. Okay, so all of these 120 degrees. So if I'm looking for my y, these two angles are on a straight line. I take my 180 minus 120, and you get your y, 60 degrees. Okay, last question 8. Two chords in a circle are equal in length. Their distances from the center can be represented by x squared and 4x respectively. So how far is each chord from the center of the circle? Now, if you have two chords which are equal in length, the distance from the center to the chord are the same, they're equidistant. So my x squared is equals to 4x. Okay, so shift over your 4x to the other side. And then you have to factorize out. So x times your x minus 4 equals to 0. So x equals to 0, you reject because your x cannot be 0, or x equals to 4. Okay, so I know that my x is 4. How to find the distance from the chord to the center? So I'm looking at this distance. I will take 4 times 4 because I'm trying to find for 4x, which gives me 16. So each chord is 16 units from the center of the circle. Okay, they never give you the units for your chords. Okay, so that's the last question for today. Thank you for watching this video.